Hey, it's Bennett and you're watching my new video series, which I don't have a name for yet, but what we do is I take a Scruggs tune that I really like and that I think you guys may know, and I put melodic licks in it and switch in and out of the Scruggs melody and the melodic licks to kind of show you how to fuse these two styles in a hopefully tasteful way. My goal is always to do it tastefully because as I talk about in the video, you could do this so many different ways, but I always try to hint at the melody as much as I can. So at the beginning of the video, you'll see me play Earl Scruggs' version of this tune so you can get some context. If you haven't learned this song, this is a good opportunity to learn it. The tab is included, both Earl's version and my version of the song. Then I play fast through my version of it. It's really cool to listen to the Earl version and then my version because you can hear the similarities, but you can also hear the differences between the two, which is a nice thing to do as a student of music. So after that, I play through the variation that I came up with slowly, and then there's the breakdown section. So I kind of talk about what my thought process was behind picking these variations, like what scales I'm using, kind of just break it down so you can kind of use these tools for your advantage in the future with songs that you actually want to arrange. So I hope this is really helpful. Like I said before, you can get the tab by signing up for my mailing list. You will get the Scruggs version, you'll get my version, and you'll get my kind of my guide sheet, which has the scales and stuff included. Thanks a lot and enjoy Groundspeed. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Okay, so in this version of Groundspeed, in the A section, or the up the neck part, I am working just with G major scale patterns. So I'm working with two patterns here. The first one is a descending scale pattern. I'm starting on the 5th scale degree, so I'm starting on this D. The scale pattern in its entirety is down to the D. So I recommend that you learn that before you really jump into this arrangement, because it's going to help you pick up this this arrangement a lot faster. And from the beginning of it, from the G, it's it. So that's what it sounds like, which I'm sure if you're an intermediate player that you've heard, maybe you've studied a little bit. So that's the first pattern. So you got that's what I call the 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 2 etc. pattern, and those numbers correspond with the scale degrees that you're playing. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 2. If you were to do it more linearly, single string, that's what it would look like, or 3 notes per string. So that is the first one that I do, and that's at the very beginning. And then I break into the melody a little bit. After that, that's the second phrase, and the second phrase I actually do a thirds pattern, but I'm also starting on this 5th note. And the reason I'm starting on the 5th note is because that is where the melody, the original melody begins. So I'm trying to hint at that melody as much as I can when I arrange these songs. So that's... And that pattern is just thirds. If you're going to play the ascending thirds pattern, it would go like this. Down, it would go like this. So these two scales are the ones I'm using in the A section. In the third phrase, so you got one phrase, second phrase, and actually part of that second phrase is the descending scale that I talked about in the first phrase. And we go to a D note. So the third phrase is also the 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 2 scale. Wait, so this time I actually go, and I actually go up to that note. So it's more of like that's kind of a fiddle tune lick. But in this context of the song, I go. So I'm going back to the melody of Groundspeed. So in the melody of Groundspeed, you go like this. In my version of it, you go like this. So you can really tell that this song is Groundspeed, and that's like the goal behind this whole series, is to come up with melodic variations that are cool, that sound different enough, but you can also tell that you're playing a specific song. Because you could go wild and crazy with this stuff. You could play all chromatic stuff and everything, but I want to show you how to do this in a tasteful manner. And in the B section, I start out with playing the main melody. And then I throw in a melodic lick. And that's just a standard fiddle tune-ish sounding lick. All of this melodic stuff, though, is based off the G scale. So starting on the root, going down a half step, root again, up to that, and then... Yeah, so it's a lick that I picked up just through learning tons of fiddle tunes and stuff. It's not like a scale. It's just a pattern of the notes that make up a melody that I hear in my head, and it's a lick that I use pretty often too. So and so after that, I go back to this. Back to that melodic lick, but I do a variation on it, and I include the 7th note. So and it creates a G7 chord that leads to the C. And the reason I put that 7th note in there is for a couple reasons. First of all, is when you move into a 4 chord, you can make a 1/7 chord. So if you're moving to a C chord in the key of G, you can make a G7th chord. Also, it's in the melody of the song. Earl does that in the song. So this lick is... And then I end up on my C for the first measure of the C chord. And then I go... So a little C lick in there, still based off the G scale. And this is G scale, part of the G scale pattern too. And then I go into the... which is part of the first G scale that we went over, the 1 2 3 1. It's just descending. You can sign up for my mailing list to get the tab for this video. That includes the original Earl Scruggs version of this, my version of this with the melodic stuff in there, and also some scale exercises to go over the scales that I put in this song. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next week.